It is Pitt to kick us off, moving from left to right on your screen. And we are underway in Pittsburgh. Pitt fresh off that 4-1 win over Clemson. They have picked up an important 4 points in the last 2 ACC matchups to move to within just 3 points of the top 6 and within reach of an ACC tournament spot. Meanwhile, for Syracuse, they won 6 out of the first 8 of the campaign, all that in non-conference play, but since then 6 straight losses. The last 4 all coming against nationally ranked teams. For the first time in program history, they go back to back to back to back against the top teams in the nation. And there is Nikki Thrasher Adams, now in her 6th season with the Orange. Syracuse team that is always tough to play against, always compact and organized. That'll make it difficult for this potent Pittsburgh attack. Szypanski over the ball. It's chased down by Mellenhorst. Both players were on the score sheet in that 4-1 win against Clemson. Rinse and repeat from the other flag. It's a second quick corner for the Panthers.
Enjoy something to watch, not when it comes to the set pieces, not the initial ball played in. Watch the second ball. We know that Pitt is really good getting on the end of that, and it's something Syracuse has to be mindful of.
And swinger near post this time. It's loose on the doorstep and sent away by Ocean. Headed down into the 6, and that's going to be gathered up by Shea Vanderbosch. She was busy in goal against Notre Dame, led in 3, but made 12 saves in the course of those 90 minutes. She's 5th all-time for Syracuse in total saves, 265 for her career. It's Chloe Minas, who's dispossessed. And Syracuse, their first foray forward. Ellie Caulfield. Well, a warm welcome into those of you joining us following Stanford and Boston College in field hockey. We're in Pittsburgh. We're at Syracuse visiting Pitt. A long shot that sails over the goal of Shea Vanderbosch. Syracuse in search of their first ACC win of the season alongside Morgan Boyne. I'm Dre Cordero. Thrilled to have you with us for women's soccer on the ACC network. There's Sarah Szypanski, assist leader in D1 women's soccer this season. She's just 1 shy of matching the school record that she set herself last campaign. She also set the school record for points in the course of the season. Six, 7, and 1, the overall record for Syracuse. Lucia Wells, who was chasing that down, was second to it. A couple of early goals set the tone against Clemson. They were up 2-0 after 17 minutes. Here's Fury weaving her way through. This will lead to a throw for the Orange. Today in navy blue. Uribe. Possession short-lived for visiting Syracuse. Here's Pitt with a throw deep in opposition territory. Here with their back to goal. One back by Zylski. Chloe Minas pulling the strings in the midfield for the Panthers. Left a little short by Lee, anticipated well by Iba Oshing, now trying to turn defense into attack. And Oshing had her pocket picked. It was the Nigerian Deborah Abiodun. Caulfield. direct approach to send that'll trickle into the hands of Shea Vanderbosch.
And Dre, something we've seen already is the ball turning over, and Syracuse has had a little bit of success when they beat that first line of pressure from Pitt, but they're having trouble because they're then not able to connect to the second ball. And then on the flip side, what we've seen from Pitt, when they do win that in transition, we know that they're trying to catch the Syracuse back line out of position, because this is an incredibly organized team from front to back. So when that ball transitions, if they can go quick, they're looking to find pockets, knowing that if they give time, Syracuse will just be able to all get behind the ball, and it's a bigger block to have to break down.
Kylan Grant scrambled back that time to get there ahead of Kira Millenhorst. Randy Waldrum, head coach of the Pittsburgh Panthers and coaching staff that won the coaching staff of the year last year for 2023 in ACC, and really have transformed this program. Back-to-back ACC tournament appearances, back-to-back NCAA tournament appearances. Father-son team, that's Ben Waldrum, the associate head coach alongside him. Zayelski raffles it into the midfield. Fury. She splits the double team. He gets tripped up from behind. It's going to be a promising free kick from just outside the box. And Kate Murphy is the guilty party committing the foul. Slow to get up, Samaya Fury.
Well, and it's Fury 1v1. We know that's where she's so dangerous. She beats her first defender and then gets clipped behind from Kate Murphy, who's just too late getting to the ball. And that's a player for Pitt that you're hoping everything's okay. It's good to see her up and walking.
It's Kira Millenhorst who stands over the ball. Right alongside her, Shara Szupansky. It is Szupansky with her left. Straight at the wall. Reba Ocean. And the foul is whistled against Pitt. Syracuse will have a free kick deep in their own half. Ryan McDermott, who was on the edge of that wall.
And you have to know that this is going to be Szupansky taking this one. McDermott in the right place. That's why you have the wall there. And it's a good block from Szupansky. I would love to see that. Getting over the wall, you know that she has the ability to do so.
Morgan, we had our chat with Ben Waldrum ahead of this game. You asked him which foot he thought Szupansky would prefer, and his answer is, I don't think she knows.
And I was curious what he said, because it's easy to see that as a spectator and announcer, right? You know that she's good with either side, but I wanted some insight, and he didn't give it to me. But it's a good place to be if you're a player, really not knowing, because it also then allows you to just play and flow, and you don't have to think about where the ball is on your foot. And that's one thing that makes Szupansky so special when she creates.
Ellie Caulfield on the ball. Long, quick switch of play. Szupansky waiting for help to arrive. Patience in possession. It's a tough road trip to Stanford and Cal for Pitt, one in which, as you mentioned, they felt they left some points on the table. Bounce back with good performances. All in those, and that was culminated by that exclamation point of a victory against Clemson. Some defending to be done now as Syracuse starting to flash their fangs. No nonsense from the experienced Ellie Breach. The ball out of play, a chance for us to take a look at Morgan's keys to the game.
Well, when it comes to Syracuse, this is a team, they are really stressing winning those second balls. I mentioned it earlier on the corner, but they have to be able to defend tight the first opportunity and be aggressive towards the second. And also, it comes down to defending in key areas. They know Pitt likes to have runners coming out of the midfield. We've seen what Samaya Fury can already do early on in this game.
Swung in. Back post, that was intended for Kate Murphy at the back post and just didn't get there, Morgan. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, and it's actually the outside back there getting forward on that opportunity. Now she's having to track back so they can be tight in their unit defending, but they have to be able to defend as a unit in those key areas to really limit the attacking presence that we can see from Pitt.
Flung forward, but beyond the reach. Samaya Fury.
And Joy, something else that was interesting with talking with Nikki Thrasher-Adams and how they were adjusting this game, when it came down to defending in key areas, some of it had to do with how they marked the midfield runners. Some of it came down to how they mark a player like Fury who's on the ball or Shapansky. And those are also situational, right? Because you can't do all things at all times because you need to be able to double team.
Look out as Fury into the 18 after a moment of magic in the midfield. Short circuits in the end. There's a really good look at her quality. The sombrero over the first defender. Slaloms her way through.
And this is one of those moments.
And substance.
Yeah, this is one of those moments Syracuse had to be able to respond because Fury has the quick 1-2 and then pulls 3 defenders and still ends up squeaking by. It's the touch that's too long, but that's where Syracuse has to have a heads-up play and be aware of what's going on to see when they can double and bring a player down and maybe leave a midfielder open because in that moment, Fury's the most dangerous.
Who's evolved into a little more direct, a little more deliberate about dribbling at defenders, taking players on, but you still see that flash of flair. Shapansky. What about the Pitt keys to the game there, Morgan?
Well, one of their focuses is speed of play. So they know that if they are slow and possess a little bit, it's easier to defend that with Syracuse able to slide defenders around. So when they win the ball, they want to move forward with speed of play. We are seeing them in possession right now, though, be a little bit slower. So when they get the moment, can they get forward and send numbers quicker? And then also just efficiency in attack. They know they will get shots. They know we'll get their looks on frame. Can they be efficient with those opportunities and put away the ones that they have? Because when we spoke with Ben Waldrum, I asked him, you know, when you see a game like this and Syracuse still looking for their first win, what is your mindset? What is your mentality going into this game? And he was clear to share they still have to get a result. They need 3 points. So this is a team that has to be efficient and put those opportunities away early on.
There is the aforementioned Ben Waldrum and Randy Waldrum. 18th overall in the RPI ranking. At the moment, Pitt outside of the ACC tournament picture looking in, but again, just within striking distance, 3 points back. 2 more ACC points on the line tonight. Today, I should say. Goes back. It's Lonnie Stevens who lays it off. Oshing. Long switch to the near side. A little heavy on the controls. The ball trickled out. It will stay with Syracuse via throw. Eva Uribe with her back to goal. It's given away by Murphy. There's confidence in the center back to send back a difficult pass, and the ball floats into the hands of Ellie Breach. First save she's had to make, and was always comfortable. Taking the Route 1 approach, and there's that second ball won by Samaya Fury. inviting the entirety of the back line to dance is Fury. And still keeping it alive for Wells. This will lead to another corner for Pitt. Another chance for Szczepanski to deliver. One of just 7 active players in D1 with 30+ goals, 20+ assists. And you should expect a conveyor belt of corner kicks. It's the 3rd now for Pitt. Swinger into the 6th. Fury met it in the air but denied. And this will be a goal kick now for Syracuse.
Well, and you could see before the corner was taken, Szczepanski has her hand in the air, so it's clear they knew where they were going with that set piece. It's a beautiful ball played in. It's Abiodun and Fury, and it actually looks like it deflects off Abiodun, but that forces Vanderbosch off her line. So really good opportunity from Pitt because they also had 2 players in there. Defensively for Syracuse, they have to be goal side and a little bit tighter because it's clear Pittsburgh's not afraid to get up for the header.
Give you an idea of the quality that Pitt has on this roster. Abiodun, a member of the Nigeria women's national team, coached of course by Randy Waldrum. She's already played in the World Cup. She played in the Paris Olympics. Breach gets this out of play.
Yeah, Jerry, it was interesting asking Ben Waldrum just about Abiodun and coming back for another season with Pitt, what it was like for her having such an experience, and he made it pretty clear. He said, we have a general rule at Pitt. If you play in a World Cup, you play for us at Pitt.
It's promising now for Syracuse, but it doesn't come back in enough. It'll be a goal kick. Just rounding back into form. Abiodun came back a little nicked up after playing something like 3 games in 9 days at the Paris Olympics. Developed a little tendinitis. She missed 6 games before making her way back. Returned against Louisville on the 14th last month.
And what's also special about Abiodun is you see her production, you see how she pulls the strings. A lot of what makes her special is little things. It's little movements, it's little touches that open her up or allow her then to see another side, to connect with teammates. So you can see what she does on a score sheet, but you also have to really watch her to appreciate the type of player that Abiodun is. So it's the way that she opens up. You see her now drifting in and then leaving the space to open it up for somebody else. So it's just the higher level thinking there to keep her run going and get back on the ball. That can often be missed if you're not keyed in to what she's doing.
Trying to keep possession alive. She's dispossessed in the end. Change for Syracuse to counter. It's an area that Nikki Thrasher-Adams told us was going to be crucial, something you mentioned in your keys for Syracuse, is that quick transition when they do win the ball back, try and get in behind Pitt. But Pitt defensively have just not given up much in the way of chances, not just today, but over the course of the last 6 games. Allowing the opposition just 2 shots or less. For 6 straight games, they've conceded just 5 goals in that stretch. This is played out by Kate Murphy. Just mentioned the stout defensive efforts from the Panthers. 2 shots or fewer in 6 consecutive games. And maybe the frustrating part was not getting enough done on the other end to pick up points in threes. And that came unstuck against Clemson.
When I often feel like when you have a team that is so dangerous in the attack and have such dynamic forwards such as Pitt, you often don't talk about the defense.
That's Abiodun who's trying to get on the end of it, and on the bounce, Vanderbosch able to collect.
Well, Andre, we were speaking about Abiodun, and this just shows how she's able to slip in. That's that run from the midfield because she splits the center backs and just misses the touch on it. Vanderbosch struggles to see that ball coming in. She just gets right past her defender in Stevens. That's a center midfielder who dropped, and then she slips behind. Abiodun wanting that opportunity back.
A little bit of a different role for her at Pitt than when she plays for Nigeria, where she's more of a defensive midfielder, a holding midfielder. Here she has that license to get forward. You saw it there. And this one into the hands of Vanderbosch once more.
And now we're starting to see some of that attacking, those attacking opportunities continue, and this is where Pitt wants to be more efficient. These are the chances they know they can create. Can they be a little bit smarter in the final third, maybe more selfish and take it themselves to be able to put van der Bosch under a little bit more pressure? They talked about Samaya Fury being more deliberate in her attack, but that's something they want to see from all of the front runners. They knew they'd get chances, but how can they make them really precise and put van der Bosch under pressure?
Here's Kylan Grant. She is the heartbeat of that Syracuse backline. Senior out of Ottawa, Canada. Shapansky out wide. Fury waiting in the 18. Kira Mellenhorst. And he flighted in toward the spot. And maybe a second chance effort there is gathered up by Shea van der Bosch once again. Lucia Wells, who was at the back post. Again, Pitt looking to build this time through the fullback Ashley Moon. Space and time to consider her options. Moon into the 18. Score ball is on for Fury. Wells have something behind. And Deliva not quite able to come away with possession. This is one back by Moon. Fury. Jimenez, who's come over to cover for Moon. And did so well to cut out the potential counter. Still some defending to do for Pitt. Ultimately does get away, but here's a good look at that last opportunity for the Panthers.
And I love this run forward from Moon. It's the hesitation. She beats her defender and plays it in. It's a bit unfortunate for Wells. She looks to hit that one first time, and it's not a clean touch. But then on the flip side, you saw Syracuse look to make a break, and it was Erin Fleury really creating on her own, but wasn't able to keep it in bounds.
Pressure applied now by Fury. Here's Grant. It's her 56th career start, anchoring that back line. 53rd consecutive start. Knocked down from McDermott. Oshing. And Abiodun, who's won it back. Covers a lot of ground quickly, doesn't she? Wide for Olivia Lee. Down the line for Fury. There's Eva Oshing, who got there first. Mellenhorst. Options to either side. It's clipped into the 18, and again, van der Bosch is quick to react.
Jay, this was the second opportunity where a good ball was played through. The first one happened on the sideline. It was played forward to Fury. This one coming from Mellenhorst. There's just not enough pace on the ball. It's the right idea, but it's played a little bit too soft so that the players then have to hold up their run. Excuse me, it was the ball that went into Mellenhorst because then she played it a touch too far for Wells. So the idea is there. It's just the ability to be efficient and move the ball. That's what Pitt wanted to do coming in.
Soft touch from Wells. Grant was there to end the hand, winning it back. And Vanderbosch forced into a quick pass, puts it out of play. Pressure pays off for Pitt. And a Pitt side that lost some key players last season, or departures of Amanda West and Andy Mertz, both becoming the first Pitt players drafted into the NWSL. West now with the Houston Dash. He's the all-time scorer for the program. Fury laying it off, and that'll trickle out for a goal kick.
Dre, Pitt has shown that they can play the ball forward, and they've drawn the attention of the defenders for Syracuse, and there's been a bigger space in the midfield that's opened up. I want to see Abby Oden and Mellenhorst continue to create on the ball, because the lines have stretched a little bit and there's more area for them to play, and then they can look to slip the ball through, but they also are two players that have the ability to keep it on their foot and go to goal themselves. I'm curious if we'll see that as the second half continues, because Syracuse has dropped really deep with the attackers for the Panthers.
And to your point, Pitt have sometimes resorted to that quick, long ball, looking for a more direct approach. Pansky, who chases this down. The deflection means it will be Pitt's ball. They have a throw. Fury out wide once more. It's a kind roll for Pittsburgh. Ball clipped in, back post. Header is off target from Wells, who again is isolated at the back post.
She was isolated at the back post, but then you had Mellenhorst basically wide open right in the middle, and Wells looked to flick that one towards goal, but if she can actually head that back where it came from to the center of the field, Mellenhorst is waiting right there, and they could step through to look to finish.
Captain play by Kate Murphy. Now Wells. Murphy slow to get up. Miracle advantage at the moment for Pitt. Fury with constant movement. Abby Oden will track this one down. Olivia Lee getting involved in the attack. Getting inside is Lee, delivered. She was going for goal. He has to find a target this time, the left back. Syracuse have lived up to the reputation. They've been organized. They've made it difficult for Pitt to get any real clear goal-scoring opportunities.
And you can see what Lee is looking to do. She's trying to bend that ball to the far post, but this is one. She had her defender beat. She could take another touch forward and even lay it off or pick her head up to see on frame. But this whole opportunity started because Pitt got the ball on the right side of their defensive third, switched it through the midfield through Minas, and then looked to find the other side. There also was a glimpse of a bit of a connection between Mellenhorst and Fury. We know those two have been really strong together on the attacking front, but just not exactly on the same page when they look to connect. We're seeing glimpses from Pitt. We've obviously seen their attack, but I do want to see them be more efficient. I think Syracuse has been difficult to break down, but they haven't been exactly clean on the back line. And Pitt, with this regroup right now, you know they're talking about how can they put one away, how can they finish, and just be cleaner on the attacking side. Because as this first half counts down, you know this team is not happy with where the score is at right now with the chances that they've had.
We saw Kate Murphy a moment ago go down and take her time getting back up. She's now come off with an apparent injury. She was the one change to the 11 from the side that played against Notre Dame last week. We'll see a number of substitutes ready to check in. First of them is Julia Denning, with the number 23. Just checking in, the sophomore from Remsen, New York. Transfer out of Siena College. First alteration, and it's forced through injury for Nikki Adams.
And Dre, Kate Murphy being out, she's a player that means so much to this Syracuse back line, but also this team. Nikki Thrasher-Adams said she feels like people don't talk about her enough and just the impact that she's had. She walked on as a freshman, and in the words from Thrasher-Adams, just said she's gotten so much better each year, and she's a player that they definitely want her to be able to come back on, and just the impact that she has for this Orange team.
Yeah, that freshman season after walking on, she played just 34 minutes that campaign and seemed to take it personally, made it a mission to get better. She's improved every season she's been there. And hope it's not too serious. Shapansky from just outside the 18. It'll take more than that to be Van der Bosch. Shapansky's still a quality goal scorer, but he's become more of a facilitator, more of a provider this season. And last season, 14 assists, and just one shy of that now. Just over a quarter of an hour left in this first 45. Syracuse 0, Pitt 0. Abiodun, burst of acceleration to free herself of her marker. Walking a tightrope and still in possession is Abiodun. Magic from the Nigerian. She'll test the gloves of the goalkeeper from a tight angle. Van der Bosch responds.
When we talk about the impact that Abiodun has, just look at her on the ball. It's the hesitation that then forces the defender, it's Denning who just came in, to put her foot forward, go for the tackle, and then it's a little move to get right around. Abiodun decides to keep this one for herself, going for the near post. Van der Bosch just touches it away.
In-swinger, the near post, it's slapped away by Van der Bosch. Tracked down by Zayelski. Lifted in once more, Fury the intended target. Mellenhorst, it's loose for Moon, and Olivia Lee blasted over the top.
Here we talk ball. This isn't just the second, it's the third or the fourth. It's the one that comes back in. Right to go over the bar, but you see Syracuse trying to clear. Someone has to get a foot on that.
In relief of Lucia Wells. Switched over to this near side. Not quite cleared by Kylan Grant. Does ultimately send it away. Caulfield. Just like to get forward on occasion, and on this occasion, she's committed a foul.
That's good work on the defensive end from Erin Fleury. Caulfield knows she held on to that ball too long, needed to get rid of it, and it's a big touch. Fleury does the right thing. She gets in between the player and the ball, so that way if Caulfield goes to hit it again, which she did, she pulls down Fleury. And it was interesting talking with Ben Waldrum about Ellie Caulfield, and he shared, he's like, it almost feels like she's been here for 10 years. And I couldn't agree more. A player who has been so impactful in her career, stepping into that center back position. She is a player with such a high soccer IQ. And I really liked picking his brain just about the type of player they bring into Pitt, what they look for in recruiting. They want somebody like Caulfield who sees the game at a higher level, is almost a soccer junkie, if you want to call it that way, but she has had a massive impact, and maybe not all over the stat sheet, but she has been a mainstay for this Pitt team throughout her career.
Ashley Moon trying to send it wide. Ellen Horst. Foul was committed in an attack. It's Anna Boyd, the guilty party.
Defensively doing the work. Grant does a nice job. She's actually trying to knock the ball wide. Gets clipped from Boyd.
Boyd, the Michigan State transfer, who's checked in relief of Samaya Theory. There's Fleury in traffic. It's intended for Ava Uribe on this near side. The ball stays with Syracuse. Fleury's there to collect. Boyd. This time, Kylan Grant stands her ground. Plenty of possession for Pitt. They've had the lion's share of it, majority of the chances as well. Hands level where it matters. Abiodun. Moon. Well, did that stay in for Szczepanski? Just over the line. It's broken up by Abiodun. Quickly Pitt back. Gabby Wisbeck. And possession once again short-lived for the Orange. We'll give it straight back. Positive impact on this first half from Abiodun. On driving at the defense with help on either side. Trying to take it herself from a long way out. The game has opened up in these final few minutes of the opening 45. Bursting along to get forward is Rupert. Settled expertly that time by Katie Zajewski. Fleury had it poked loose, but rinse and repeat. It's another throw from a similar spot.
Ellie, coming left, Elle. Good.
Not a lot of movement for Syracuse there, and not a lot of options. The ball trickles out. It'll be a goal kick for Ellie Breach.
And movement is so important when there's a throw in deep in an attacking third. that's what creates opportunities and players to separate themselves from defenders, to then be able to play with the ball at their foot. So Syracuse stagnant there. That's what turns the ball back over to Pitt.
Eli Breach has just set the program record for winning as goalkeeper in Pitt history, picking up number 23 in that 4-1 victory over Clemson. Szczepanski on the ball. On her left, Szczepanski. And the shot is on target, but not a difficult save for Van der Bosch to make.
In the last two build-ups from Pitt, it was Abiodun and then Szczepanski. They're good on the dribble. They're able to beat their defender. I would love to see just a little bit of a different decision. You saw Moon getting forward. There was a player tracking back with her, but not exactly tight enough. So can that ball actually go wide? And then it's either whipped in or it could be pulled back out and recycled, because it's clear right now that opportunity from outside the 18 is just not working for Pitt.
For Syracuse, their one opportunity has come from outside the 18. They've been outshot 11-1, but most of the shots have been fairly comfortable for Van der Bosch in goal. Abiodun sets up the roadblock. Fleury in possession. And quickly collapsed upon, but a foul is whistled against Pitt. And Fleury wins a free kick here for the Orange. Here's Ashley Roche. Well, it's a wasted set-piece opportunity from some distance for Syracuse, who've given the ball straight back to Pitt.
Well, that's the second time Syracuse has had an opportunity in a position that could potentially be dangerous, and they haven't done anything with it. There was the throw-in and then the set piece. I would love to see more movement, and you have Roush on the ball. Yes, she is a bit of the connector, but that ball has to stay in play and stay within possession.
Just over 5 to play in this opening 45, and no breakthrough yet from Syracuse or Pitt. So you see the introduction of, or the reintroduction, Evo Uribe. So Kira Mellenhorst gets a break. Sophia Doheny checking in. Ashley Moon is there in case they choose to play it short. Getting on the end of more and more of those second opportunities and second balls. Pitt. For Syracuse, Aisha Cobb has checked in, the grad student out of Plantation, Florida, replacing Ava Uribe. Abiodun So unpredictable in possession. Let's fight it in. It's an expert ball into the 18, and that's just beyond the reach.
Well, and that's a beautiful ball played in. The way that it just floats over the top, going for Sophia Doheny. Look at how this chip just splits the defender and perfectly lands right in the spot. Unfortunately, just with the spin going forward and Vanderbosch coming off her line, she's able to pick that one up. But I love that idea. There's not a lot of space in behind that back line, but Abiodun confident enough to try to just drop that one in there.
A bit of everything in this first half. Abiodun destroying the opposition's build-up, creating for Pitt as well. That's poked loose and a chance for Syracuse to counter. The initial touch from Abiodun, she makes up for it well. Croyle. It's Route 1 soccer from Syracuse this time, just managing to keep it in play. So I think he is there to put out the fire. And last touch by Rausch. That'll be a throw for Pitt deep in their own half. Doheny who gets the final touch. Fleury with her back to goal, a long way from goal. Here's Szupanski. Ashley Moon with room to operate. Abiodun. Wonderful first touch to get around her marker. It's a difficult ball back to control. Jimenez has managed to do so. Ines. Doheny. It's tracked down by Caulfield. To the final minute of the first 45. Good movement as Szupanski finds a pocket of space. It's lifted in, back post. Abiodun. Well, she tried to reach it any way she could. Goal kick in the end.
Get up, get up.
Andre, you can see the idea. Szupanski looking to switch that one far. Abiodun had pulled her run wide. And at first it looked like she was trying to knock that one back across the 6, but just a little bit too much on the ball from Szupanski.
Only seconds that remain now before the halftime breaks. The ball rolls out. It'll be a throw for Syracuse. And that will do for the opening 45. Halfway through, it's Syracuse 0, Pitt 0. The Panthers with the majority of possession, the majority of the chances, but most of those still deadlocked with nothing between them, Syracuse and Pitt. Fleury back in possession and forcing her way through. Dancing her way through is Fleury from range. Didn't quite hit the target, but she looked like she had a point to prove when she got back onto the pitch. Eva Uribe is possessed by Ashley Moon. Just think what a Syracuse goal could do for this orange side after this tough stretch of games. Another challenging road match today. Here's Szczepanski, starting deep in her own half. This is one back by Grant. Brought back under control is Abiodun. Lucia Wells. Ashley Roche is brought down. It's quickly restarted. And that ball was smartly played out by Olivia Lee, who initially seemed to misread it. Gives away a corner. It's a rare corner for Syracuse. First of the game. It's Aaron Fleury who stands over the ball, set to deliver. Good delivery to the 6, and the header sails over the crossbar, and that's as good a sight of goal as they have had, Syracuse, all game long. Anna Croyle sent it over.
And Dre, it's a fantastic delivery from Fleury. Croyle gets up. Zalski's behind her. She's late to the ball because it gets over the first defender in front of Croyle. She times that beautifully and just misses, not by much though.
Now Ava Uribe had her progress stopped. Could be a throw for the Orange. Oh, what a moment it could have been. She knows it. Started all 15 games this season. Center back. Quite the opportunity for her to pick up her first goal with the Orange. Here's Olivia Lee. Now Wells. Getting back inside as well, so trying to go for goal herself. Instantly blocked. Now Maya McDermott. Abiodun. Fury, who's moving out wide, now driving. Adiba Oshing. Seems short on ideas that time, Fury. Expertly won back by Ashley Moon. Lifted into the area for the run of Wells. Van der Bosch read the intention, came out to meet it.
Dre, this game has opened up in a way that there's so much space in the midfield. This was a play a couple moments ago, but Chloe Muniz is a player for Pitt who needs to continue to be available because you can see what she does if she's in traffic, just able to get her foot on the ball and find the other side. But the Syracuse back line has dropped deeper with the front runners for Pitt, and it's opened up a bigger space in the middle. We know Abiodun can get on the ball, but Muniz can be another outlet for Pitt where they can just be a little bit more methodical with where they go with the ball. We've seen on the left side a couple times getting forward has been Lucia Wells, and she's looked to go forward and shoot. Can she maybe hold on to the ball, recycle it back through the middle, and use all that space that they have to then be deliberate in how they get forward into the attack?
So far in this contest, 4 shots apiece from Szczepanski, Lucia Wells, and Samaya Fury. Shea Van der Bosch has been equal to the task. Kylan Grant. Does ultimately get it wide. Slotted forward. It's a good interception by Ellie Caulfield. Just managing to keep her footing now is Mellenhorst. Shapunski. Patsy will take it herself. She was allowed to churn, looking for that top corner and couldn't find it. Her 5th shot of the game.
Well, and Dre, you can hear the defenders for Syracuse saying tight, tight, trying to stay tight on Shapansky. They didn't get tight, and she was still able to turn and look. Not the best final touch to look towards frame with her missing there, but it's not a bad idea. And I like the fact that she turned because they didn't get tight enough.
Mellenhorst who floated forward for Fury to chase. Pitt out shooting Syracuse 19-3 with a half an hour left. Here's Olivia Lee. Now Wells cutting inside and shedding her marker. Wells will go for goal. It's denied by Stevens. Maybe a lapse in concentration, that time from Erin Fleury, who tried to turn before she was in possession. Foul is whistled against Ashley Moon. And Syracuse will have a free kick. Polly just gotten away from her. Gabby Wisbeck on the receiving end. Here once more is Wells. Smiley creating the space for Abiodun to chase. Now pulling the strings, the Nigerian Abiodun. So the right idea is she found the outside of the boot looking for that run of Wells, just couldn't get there. Moon. Lifted into the 18. Sent away by Hannah Croyle. Pressure applied this time by Ashley Moon. She turns Syracuse over. Now Fury has options to the inside. And pass was denied. Second effort, the deflection will take it wide. It'll be a corner kick. A real flash of danger. It's last touched by Kylan Grant.
Well, Dre, this last chance came about. It was a really good touch from Moon, and then Fury turned. Mellenhorst does a nice job of drawing a little bit of attention from Grant, so Fury can then turn and look to go to frame. Shapansky picking up that second ball, and it's a deflection leading to a corner.
7th corner. Shapansky stands over it. Floated into the crowd. It's loose on the 6. And it was Caulfield who made contact. Abiodun with the second effort. Harmlessly wide, and that'll be a goal kick for Vanderbosch. Syracuse breathed a sigh of relief.
When it's Vanderbosch calling for a foul, I'm not exactly sure what she's looking for there because it's just a collision. There's a lot of players going up. Caulfield looking to connect there. Abiodun on the second one. And I'm curious what foul she's asking for because there's a lot of chaos, and it honestly looks like more Syracuse bodies in the 6 area than Pitt.
Adams looking on. Saw her team make a positive start to this second half. Things have tilted back in Pitt's favor since. Kayla Boyd is back on. Alicia Wells, it's floated into the 18 once more. Fury was the intended target. Mellenhorst seemed to be tripped up and was by Erin Fleury. And this is a promising free kick opportunity for Pitt.
And Dre, we talked about Kira Mellenhorst earlier this week when you spoke with Ben Waldrum, and I just asked him about her performance because she's a player who has always impacted the program, but now you're seeing what she can do just in the run of play, and he was sharing her composure as one of her best attributes, and you saw it there because that ball coming in, she was composed to get a touch on it and then draw the foul, now leading to an opportunity right around the top of the box, but she's composed, she keeps it down, she knows she has a player on her, trying to get back on top of it, but she's not looking to play the ball quickly. She's able to take her time, and it's what leads to this set piece chance.
It's Ellie Caulfield, who delivers top corner and a top save by Shea Vanderbosch to deny her. Perfectly framed, but a brilliant stop by the Syracuse shot stopper. Moment of the match so far. No concern for Vanderbosch here. Not sure whether it was the ground knocking the wind out of her or we'll get the benefit of another look.
Well, the placement from Caulfield.
Oof.
Vanderbosch goes to cover the corner, and it's her around her head. Her face is what tangles up with the crossbar as it spins her around. Look at this set piece from Caulfield. Vanderbosch tracks it and definitely gets taken out by the post on her way down.
Her 11th save of the afternoon, and by far the best. 81 saves on this season now. And still shaken up. Well, there's a player that they can't afford to lose. You're looking at her.
Well, and you hate this for Syracuse. This is a team last year who was thrashed with injuries. They were playing with around 14 players for part of the season. And that was one thing talking with Nikki Thrasher-Adams is she felt like her team was healthy and they were able to play and see more of the Syracuse soccer that they could build into. And then obviously you just talk about the impact of Shea Vanderbosch and what she means to this Syracuse program. See Blythe Braun warming up.
Yep.
And you hate to see Vanderbosch down holding her arm.
Contact with the post. We'll get a good look at it here from behind the goal.
And it's
Is
that
the
left
elbow
arm.
or the forearm.
Yeah, it's awkward how it gets kind of crunched in the post.
So as she gets some attention, Blythe Braun, the senior transfer out of FAU, is limbering up. Handful of minutes this season, a couple of starts for Braun. Shea Vanderbosch has been so solid in goal. She has kept Syracuse in this contest. Well, Pitt have peppered her goal as so many teams have this season. They registered 20 or more shots, a 5-1 record on the campaign for the Panthers. That one defeat going back to late August.
And Dre, coming into this game, though, they knew they had to be efficient in the attacking third. And it's something that they want to focus on for their play. But also when you look at Syracuse, it's a team that the longer they stay in a game, the more belief they have and the more confident they get in their defending and their goalkeeping. Obviously, that's before an injury to Vanderbosch. But Pitt knows that they should have put something away already. And now knowing they'll have Braun come in, potentially I don't expect them to lay off.
unlike with field players, the goalkeeper will not be required to step off after receiving treatment, so she'll give it a go.
Well, and that's big time that she can stay in right now, because it definitely was looking like she may have to come off based off what happened, but that is a huge exhale for this Syracuse team. And you know Vander Bosch will be looking to make a statement as this corner will be coming in. Quite frankly, I didn't expect her to stay in, and that's a great sign for Syracuse.
And she could be called into action right away, because here is Szczepanski standing on the end of another corner. And Swinger lifted in toward the spot. Falls at the feet of Caulfield. Abiodun. And the shot is just wide from Ava Boyd. Pouncing on the loose ball. Maybe the good news for Vander Bosch there is she wasn't tested right away.
Well, and we saw Pitt revert to some longer range strikes starting the second half, and that's continued. And I mentioned I want to see them create more and maybe be a little bit more deliberate and not look to shoot from distance, but I'm curious if they test Vander Bosch in different ways. Can they maybe go back to it? Is she a little bit wobbly in how she's able to hold on to the ball? How is her arm doing with her staying in? So I do expect to see Pitt put her under pressure quickly, but then Nikki Thrasher-Adams told us Shea Vander Bosch has the ability to make her team want to defend in front of her, and that's when she's healthy. So if she's dealing with this too, will they be a little bit more committed to limiting the chances that she'll see?
Zajewski put Caulfield in a difficult spot there, and they've turned it over. Chance for Syracuse to break on a short counter. The foul has gone against Syracuse. It's a loose ball in behind. The flag has stayed down. It's Ava. And Ava Boyd's effort is deflected wide for yet another corner kick. It was a yellow card for Syracuse associate head coach Brandon Denoyer. On his 4th season with the Orange.
Assistant coach for Syracuse.
Here's the latest chance from Pitt.
And they've found a lot of success going up the left flank. Pitt has.
And it's into the 6. Steady dose of service from corners. In dead ball situations, Abiodun puts that ball to sleep. Trying to curl it in, and it's tipped over by Vander Bosch, who is tested. Looks to be all right. Still favoring that elbow.
And Abiodun with the chip coming through, forcing Vander Bosch to track it and test how she's feeling. And another corner, she's under pressure again.
Swung in, back post this time. Knocked down. Not yet cleared out of danger. Caulfield falls for Melanors, looking for the angle. Olivia Lee. That's a wonderful ball by Minas. Moon sending it wide. Abiodun floats this one into the box. Appears to come off the arm of Szczepanski. By the way, Vander Bosch does not look entirely comfortable. On that last save, when she hit the ground, she hits it with that elbow and instantly winced. So she's playing through it at the moment. Ellie Caulfield. Once again, they go and drop this in behind the back line for Ava Boyd. And there's contact right at the edge of the box. And it's a corner kick given. Challenge came from Julia Denning.
Injury, we see Pitt going quick again in transition. This is Caulfield just looking to send the ball in behind. It's not a bad ball for Boyd, but she doesn't actually look comfortable with this left foot because she goes in for the tackle with her right, which is a little awkward. You want her to go in with that left to see if she can send the ball across.
Away! Away!
Well, the parade of corner kicks continues from Pitt, and this one is knotted over the bar. 20 left to play.
Into the match for Syracuse, number 10, replacing number 7, Uribe.
So Gabby Wisbeck comes back into the game. Eva Uribe makes way. It's won by Chloe Minas. Eva Ocean gaining ground. It's a rare trip into the final third for Syracuse, and it's short-lived. This will be a goal kick now for Ellie Breach.
And Anna Rupert thinking that one should have been a corner. Syracuse just didn't seem very decisive. It was a good initial start from Iba Oching getting forward, but then not a clear decision made in the final third.
Here come Cuse once more with the newly introduced Wisbeck. Ashley Moon is there to cut it out. And Pitt monopolizing possession. Oh, it's a late challenge by Iba Ocean. Won back expertly by Abiodun. Oh, catapulted forward for Fury. And now Fury is whistled for a foul. Head-to-head, Syracuse have won or dominated the all-time series against Pitt, but in recent years, particularly since the arrival of Randy Waldrum and his coaching staff, it's been rather one-sided in Pitt's direction. Won the last 4 in a row. They're unbeaten since the coaching change. Latest, it was last season, that 6-0 victory in October. Shapansky had a goal and 3 assists in that game. Look out, it's misjudged by Sayilski. And Fleury looking to capitalize. Fleury against the world. Well, she made up for it. Katie Zayilski sliding in with the tackle to the night. Looked to be away from the ball. And Syracuse's Ashley Rausch looked shaken up. And was there another collision? Top goal scorer for the Orange this season, Ashley Rausch, with 4 goals. Pretty much the organizer in the midfield, and it's that elbow of Fury, unintentional, but just clips Ashley Rausch. Remember, she took an ankle knock against Notre Dame, had to come off for a few minutes, and Nikki Adams told us even in that brief absence, her absence was felt instantly. It's shaken up again here, and just watch that right arm of Fury on the button. So she'll step off for an instance after receiving some attention. Just under 20 to play. And this is still a very important result that's on the line for both sides, particularly for Pitt trying to get back into the ACC tournament picture. What would you like to see out of these final minutes, Morgan?
Well, I want to see Pitt switch things up. They've had a lot of success up this left side of the flank. I honestly think if they move Szczepanski to the left, it'll open things up a bit, because then she can either keep it on her left foot or cut inside. But we saw both Ava Boyd get forward and Lucia Wells. Can they maybe get a different player who can make different decisions?
Fury dancing with the ball, and it trickles just over the line. It'll be a goal kick for Van der Bosch.
What also can happen if Pitt still chooses to go up that side of the flank is that it can open up other players such as Fury, because you see what she can do on the ball here. She keeps it close. She loves a 1v1 situation. This second and third touch just get a little bit away from her, so the ball goes over the end line. And then, Dre, going back to your question, what I want to see from Pitt is they have to continue to stay tight defensively. On the attacking side, they really haven't had too many options. We've seen Fleury try to create, but she essentially ends up trying to take on the whole back line for Pitt. So can they send some numbers forward to help her, or at least create another corner, because that proved to be their most dangerous chance of the afternoon.
Panthers back in possession. It's a lovely slip ball for Ashley Moon. Loose inside of the 18, Abiodun. Laying it off. And Szczepanski's effort. Just deflected out wide. This will be another corner kick, and Szczepanski should be over to take it herself.
Well, that was a fantastic job defensively from Iba Oching, tracking the ball, because it's a good run and connection, getting Szczepanski with the ball at her foot. But Oching, really great job defensively, tracking all the way across and getting a foot in for the deflection.
Szczepanski and Swinger. Fury was the intended target. Ellie Caulfield trying to squeeze the cross in. It's one back by Ashley Moon. Lee. Syracuse practically hanging from the crossbar, defending very deep. Maya McDermott, who's won it back, but only briefly for Syracuse. Driven cross, a good ball in, and what a save by Van der Bosch. Once again, slamming the door on Pitt.
Well, it's a fantastic save, but it's actually the two center backs connecting. It's Caulfield sending that ball in to Zalski, who was still high from the original corner. And it's a great deflection. Van der Bosch, though, showing what she does for Syracuse. Big saves when they need it most.
Save number 12. That's into the 6, and she can't keep this one out. Well, they had been knocking on the door. It's Deborah Abiodun who knocks it down. With a quarter of an hour to play, Pitt find the breakthrough. The Panthers won, Syracuse 0.
Well, time and time again, Syracuse gives up corners, but Pitt able to put this one home. A fantastic ball sent in. Look at the bend from Szczepanski. Abiodun starts her run on the opposite side of the 6, then gets up and puts it home past Van der Bosch. Really well done from Abiodun. Timing of the run, but a fantastic ball sent in for Szczepanski with her 14th assist of the season.
Well, that ties Szczepanski's school record that she set a season ago. And for Abiodun, goals in back-to-back games, having found the back of the net against Notre Dame. She gets her 2nd of the season. And this one could be worth 3 big ACC points.
And Dre, it's hard to believe that that's just the 2nd goal of the season for Abiodun with what she does and creates for Pitt. But coming up big when they need it most, that's a player that Abiodun is. At times she's a little quiet in the midfield, but you always have to watch her because of the runs that she can make. But she stepped up big when they needed it. Van der Bosch unable to make another big save for Pitt. Excuse me, for Syracuse.
I mentioned that Deborah Abiodun having missed a handful of games due to tendonitis, came back and is working her way back to her full fitness. Well, now, if she's not there, she's almost there with goals in back-to-back games. She's done a bit of everything today. Organizing in midfield, finding a would-be game winner. What can you say about Sarah Szczepanski? 14 assists in back-to-back seasons. This campaign nowhere near done.
Andre, there's times where you see players who take a lot of set pieces and maybe corners. You can see them pad up assists. I think back to a couple years ago for Clemson, Renee Guion, their outside back, had, I think, 12, 13, 14 assists in a season. But what's most impressive to me about Szczepanski is teams know that they have to limit her, but she continues to deliver. Her set pieces have been so dangerous. Every one she has sent in, she has created chances, and maybe only one thus far is connected today. But it's the consistency that Pitt can rely on when it comes to her, not just in the run of play, but also in dead ball situations.
Pitt being buoyed by the goal. Now in search of a second. Here's Lee. Szczepanski, more central position, trying to find her own goal and finds the back of the underside of the crossbar. The follow-up effort is sent over. It would not have counted as the offside flag was up. Szczepanski would have. Denied by the crossbar.
And we know Szczepanski's not afraid to let the ball go. I'm starting to think her left foot is the dominant one. The way that she dances around here and gets it onto that left foot. Just hits the crossbar.
6 goals on the year to go with those 14 assists so far. Averaging nearly 5 shots a game. So Lucia Wells checking back in, replacing Ava Boyd. Nahin also checking into the game. There's Wells. As it stands, a big result for Pitt, who would be looking at back-to-back ACC wins. After the 4-1 against Clemson. Mellenhorst. Now Wells. Szczepanski on her right. Delivers with her left, and it'll easily bounce wide of the post. Riley Keeley has checked into the game as well for Pitt these final moments. Freshman from Wake Forest, North Carolina. Still a fragile lead for Pitt. Syracuse with plenty of time to try and find an equalizer.
And Syracuse, they're looking to ping the ball around, so they're still trying to build up and create into the attack. This is a team, they may be down 1 goal, but they are still looking for that equalizer. They won't be giving up. One thing, though, I did notice in the last attack from Pitt is defensively, they weren't as tight. The outside back, Iba Oching, wasn't as tight to getting to the attacker for Pitt, and I'm curious what that looks like.
Fleury's delivery. Oh, that's sent wide by Vida Nahin, who couldn't make clean contact to substitute. Now Roche. What a moment that was. 2 chances that I can remember for Syracuse, and they've both been point-blank, clear-cut opportunities.
And it's Fleury once again who creates and sends this ball into the box. Unable to get the touch is Nahin.
One of 2 twins on this Syracuse roster, Vida and Lida Nahin. So Riley Keeley exits. He only recently checked in. So Maya Fury back on.
And that's a statement, Dre. We saw Syracuse create. They had an opportunity, weren't able to get it to go, and then you have Fury coming back in. So Pitt not happy with this 1-0. They're still looking for more by bringing their starters back in and keeping them in.
Burst of acceleration. Well, it just did seem to ricochet out. It will be a corner
Here we go, come
for Pitt.
on. Everything out, let's go. Dita.
Certainly not over yet.
No, Mike, get off.
So it's corner number 14 for the Panthers. Szymanski calibrates.
Come on, here we go, Blue.
Syracuse, Abiodun, Wells all around the 6-yard box, delivered near post. Abiodun on her right, second effort, second goal. Make it 3 in 2 games for Deborah Abiodun. She has taken over for Pitt.
Dre, I talked about the service from Szymanski. This one actually curves and hits the near post, and it bounces back off. It's the deflection. Abiodun misses the first one and just kind of goes with the toe poke to be able to strike through it on the second chance because she is wide open at the penalty mark. Syracuse not able to then collapse on top of her with her second chance on the ball. Point blank in front of Vanderbosch. She's not able to get over to that one.
That is ice cold from the Nigeria international. Made her World Cup debut at the age of 19 last year. Played the Paris Olympics with Nigeria this year and is lighting it up for Pitt now. Probably not a coincidence that Pitt are finding their stride on this season at around the time when Abiodun is finding her best form. Ashley Moon takes this one back. It was a first half strike to double the lead against Clemson from Abiodun to make it 2-0. Well, she's found both goals this afternoon. And surely now this score must hold. That one trickles away from Maya McDermott. And Pitt have a throw. All about game management now down the final few minutes for Pitt with a 2-0 lead. Caulfield. Wells in the middle. Abiodun on a hat trick. And she may take it herself. Here's Abiodun. Now Fury with her back to goal. Oh, the pass back was on. Rush. Syracuse looking for a consolation goal. Maybe more. Minas. Everything she does with such purpose, Chloe Minas, and so deliberate.
And Drew, we've talked about Chloe Minas and the impact she has on this Pitt team, but we really haven't spoken a ton about their defense because they haven't had to do a bunch in this game. But this Pitt team is so solid defensively, and you've seen the work from their outside backs getting into the attack.
Theory now, edge of the area. Nahin not allowed to turn it all by Ashley Moon.
And that's another example. That's an outside back in Ashley Moon tracking her player all the way into their defensive half. And she's able to win the ball back for Pitt possession.
Put out of play by Vida Nahin, who had won it back momentarily for Syracuse. Abiodun. Szymanski. She didn't need a second invitation. Maya McDermott. So quick to win it back, and they've done so through Chloe Minas once more. Not just that she can break up the other team's spell of possession, but that the ball comes away from her cleaner than it arrived. Ellie Caulfield put into space brilliantly. This is Stelzer. Szczepanski. He needs a sliver of an opening. Abiodun back out wide. Chipped in for Fury, overcooked. Minas. Caulfield. Fury. That's the reference point in attack. There's Caulfield again, the center back. Caulfield! It's an exclamation mark of a goal. Pitt now having their way with Syracuse. It's 3-0 with 5 to play. And Ellie Caulfield finds her second goal of the season to put the result beyond a doubt.
Well, and Dre, it's just a beautiful strike, and it started with the build-up, which is what allowed Caulfield to find herself higher up the field. She takes a prep touch, and she actually doesn't have a ton of space to step into this ball. But it's the local kid, Ellie Caulfield, striking through that. And that's a beautiful finish. As a center back, you cannot ask for more to get yourself into the attack, to have space at the top of the 18. And it's a beautiful strike from Caulfield.
That her 15th career goal at Pitt. She is 10th all-time in their scoring charts. And Szczepanski, credited with the assist, has broken her own record set last season. Now 15 assists on the campaign.
And Dre, we've talked so much about this Pitt team and what they can do differently maybe this year, coming off their historic run last year. Szczepanski is obviously a player they rely on so much in what she creates, but this attacking side has so many different dimensions in which they can get at opponents. I just mentioned how difficult their defense can be to break down. We see that they can score on set pieces. Something that's going to have to be cleaned up a bit for Pitt is just how do they make an impact earlier in games? Because I do think they're starting to swing and peak at the right time. But when you look at some of the teams they have to finish the season with, first off, it's a fair amount of road games, right? They're on the road at Miami, on the road at Florida State, so they have that Florida swing. Back home against a Wake Forest team that is incredibly difficult to play against, and they're so good in the midfield and on the attacking side, so that defense will really be called upon. And then Notre Dame to close out the season. So this Pitt team is really confident, right? You have the play from Szczepanski as well, so they should be confident, but it's not smooth sailing as this season continues on.
Szczepanski coming off and getting the recognition from the coaching staff. Another record-setting season for the senior. And the scoreline might suggest this was easier than it actually looked, because up until very late in this second half, when Abiodun on a second effort finally broke through. So real question as to whether Van der Bosch would just continue to keep everything out. But now looking to make it 4 is Pitt. And Van der Bosch with a brilliant kick save. Tonight, Sofia Doheny.
And Dre, we talk about this Pitt team, and they are so locked in on the style in which they play, in their game plan each game. And coming off it, Szczepanski, she's happy about her accolades that she has now, but that look on her face, you can tell she wanted more from herself in this performance, from her team in this performance, because you're right, the scoreboard makes it look like it was a lot easier than it was for them to break open the scoring. And if this is a team, if they want to continue on past what they did last season, they know that they need to raise the bar just a little bit more, and this is a team that's willing to do that work.
Back-to-back ACC and NCAA tournament appearances in 2022 and 2023. First ACC semifinal a year ago, and the first Elite Eight appearance in the NCAA tournament. Looking for a consolation goal here at Syracuse. There are some more, let's call it forgiving matchups ahead for the Orange. They'll be at home for back-to-back games against North Carolina State next Thursday, October 17th. After that, they get Miami at home on Thursday. Dying moments of the 90 minutes. And from an awkward angle, it's kept out by Van der Bosch. Going to ground to deny the number 7, Sofia Doheny. She won't be in the mood for any moral victories at the moment, but she has been brilliant. She had Van der Bosch, and I'm not sure there was much she could have done about the goals. Beautiful strike from Caulfield to punctuate it. Before that, it was Abiodun twice inside the area. Settled by Minas. At a deflection, it's going to be another corner.
And the reaction off the deflection looks like it could have potentially been a handball called. But Minas is so calm on the ball when that falls to her foot, able to get a touch.
There's Margaret Wild standing over the ball.
And that's a confident player. You know she's in her element talking with the ref.
It's an infectious smile from Chloe Minas. The midfield engine is always upbeat and positive. Quite a player herself.
1 minute remaining in the match. 1 minute.
And these seconds remain. A big 3 points for Pitt. Their ambitions for the season. Not quite done scoring yet. This is one back by Syracuse.
I'm right here. I'm right here.
Caulfield. Fresh off of her second goal of the season.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Last gasp of a dying cause. And there is the final whistle. As Pitt put 3 past Syracuse, they make it 5 straight wins over the Orange.